The final results of the New South Wales Upper House election are in.
Mark Latham's re-election increases One Nation, and the Liberal Democrats have grabbed the spot, a climate change sceptic who wants an inquiry into the COVID response.
Did the masks work? We don't believe they did. Did the vaccines work? We don't believe they did. And we need to basically hold people to account.
Big day for the movement to see legalise cannabis in New South Wales.
The race for the final seat, delivering an extra headache for the new government.
Nail-biting finish, delivering the final spot in the Upper House to Liberal Rachel Merton. Holding out the Animal Justice Party by 10,000 votes, it means there's an even split between left and right-leaning parties. The government won't control the numbers in either chamber. After winning 45 of the 93-seat lower house, Premier Minns only needs 2 votes from the crossbench. But in the 42-member upper house, Labor only has 15 MPs and needs to find 7 more votes from the Greens, One Nation, Shooters and Fishers, Animal Justice, the Liberal Democrats or legalise cannabis.
So in the minority in both houses of parliament, meaning the new Minns government has plenty of negotiation in front of it to get things done.
We will try and find a way to work with the range of people that have been elected today.
The state's first legalised cannabis MP, Jeremy Buckingham, says he'll neither be a block nor a rubber stamp.
We are not left-wing, we're not right-wing, we're the whole bird. Labor's got an agenda, we want to work with them on that if they're going to work with us on our agenda of legalising cannabis.
Top of the agenda for Liberal Democrat John Ruddock is an inquiry into COVID.
Did the masks work? We don't believe they did. Did the vaccines work? We don't believe they did. And we need to basically hold people to account.
The challenge for the Premier will be finding common ground across such a varied bunch.
All right, before I wrap this video up, I've got some thank yous to say. We would not have kept Labor at bay in the upper house if it wasn't for some thank yous that I'm about to say. The minor parties worked together in New South Wales in a way that we hadn't seen before. Part of that was because in Victoria, Dan Andrews managed to stay in government and keep a majority in the lower house and the upper house. And that demoralised a lot of people to the point where we were like, we've got to try something different. IMOP, the Liberal Democrats, One Nation, the Shooters, Farmers, Fishers, and independent candidates all came together and all helped each other. Lyle Shelton as well. And what was crazy was they avoided running in the same seats, so they didn't split the vote. And they ended up getting a much better result in the upper house. We ended up getting the balance of power. We've got 6 or 7 Freedom MPs in the upper house. And Labor's going to have a really difficult time getting legislation passed. On top of that, there are a few other thank yous we've got to say. All the lower house candidates that ran, all the volunteers that helped them, this is your win. If you spreaded information online like the Turning Point Resources, this is your win. You did a phenomenal job. God bless you. This is the fruit of your labour. Well done. Thank you to Graham Hood. Thank you for streaming the information online on Facebook. Thank you, John Larder, for jumping on the Liberal Democrats ticket. You helped get John Ruddock elected to the upper house. Thank you, Millie Fontana, hopping on board and jumping on the Liberal Democrats ticket. Thank you to Natalie Duma for helping me to source so many candidates from around the state for the different parties. And thank you to everyone. There's so many people I'm forgetting to thank. I know I am going to forget to thank. Thank you, Dave Pello, for actually hosting us at the Church and State Conference where I spoke multiple times about the resources we had for the election. And the other thank you I wanted to say to the people that have big followings, I've got to give a very special shout out to the RDA family and Monica Smith, as well as Morgan Jonas. Both of them on their separate platforms and their separate email groups, they promoted the Turning Point Resources. They promoted a better cooperation in New South Wales, which is something which we didn't see at a federal or a state level in Victoria. And I thank you guys. Thank you for trusting my judgment, my team's judgment, the leadership of the parties in New South Wales. We got a great result. And I just wanted to pay respect to you guys. Thank you for trusting us on this. So where to from here? Well, the only thing left to resolve in the New South Wales election is who gets selected as the Speaker to see what the arithmetic is. It'll most likely be a Labor Member of Parliament, and that won't make a huge difference to their ability to get a lot of legislation passed. But I see this as a total win. It's the meme. I can't wait for the next election. I can't wait for the Queensland election next year, the local elections in New South Wales as well, in September next year. The voice to the parliament. We're gonna knock it out of the park. And I can't wait to see what the freedom movement has in store, the conservative movement has in store, particularly in the minor parties, because I think we just demonstrated that in New South Wales, when you have great collaboration, it works. It works. If you try not to step on each other's toes, if you don't attack each other too much, it actually works. And I think the establishment are freaking out because of it. A third of people voted for the coalition, a third of people voted for Labor, and a third of people voted not for those two parties. That is amazing. The Australian people are waking up. You may see it as a Labor win, but Labor is having an increasingly lower and lower primary vote, as is the coalition, because people don't take them seriously anymore. And if they're ever going to recoup any credibility, they've got to stop the factional games. They've got to stop going left in the Liberal Party. They've got to start taking people's concerns seriously. And until they do, these minor parties are going to keep growing. And I'm all here for it. In the meantime, we still back good members of the Liberal Party, like Tanya Davies, Tim James. They're still in. Tanya Davies increased her margin. And she should probably be the leader of New South Wales as the opposition. She'd probably get them into government in the next election if they did that. But they're stupid. The Liberal Party will never do that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. But I wanted to say this. I wanted to say my piece. Thank you. Thank you everyone that helped us inside and outside New South Wales. Thank you for all the support. This is your win. Let's have a beer. Have a good night. God bless you guys.